I built my dream house in Asheville with my own hands. Every nail, every beam. But what happens when the people closest to you, my wife Emily, my sister Jessica, turn it into a nightmare? How did I end up in a courtroom, fighting to keep what's mine? This is the story of betrayal, lies, and a truth that changed everything. Ready to uncover what they tried to hide? Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. My wife stood with my sister, demanding the dream house I crafted with my own hands. But in that courtroom, I was ready to unveil a truth that would shatter everything. At 32, I never imagined I'd find myself here, gazing at my own house, grappling with the shocking reality that my sister nearly took it all away from me. Yet, here we stand. The house, my creation, every nail driven, every board placed, every detail crafted by my own hands. I've been in construction since I was just a child. At 20, I was just the guy sweeping sawdust and hauling things. The guy everyone shouts at for tools. It was me. I fought hard, absorbed every lesson, and climbed from the depths of cleanup to leading my own team. I've built my own construction company from the ground up. I'm not trying to show off. I'm just sharing the context. 2 years back, I stumbled upon the perfect piece of land in Asheville, North Carolina. When I say perfect, I truly mean it. 5 acres of chaos. Picture Mother Nature hosting a chaotic garage sale, everything she has tossed into one wild heap. They all called me insane for buying it. Even my realtor begged me to reconsider. In hindsight, I wish I'd held on to that fire when everything else fell apart. But that's a story for another time. But oh, the view. I wish you could witness it. Mrs. Thompson, our neighbor, a sweet lady in her 70s, has become my unofficial grandma. She's the only one who truly understands. Every weekend, as I toiled in the fields, she'd surprise me with incredible dumplings. "You have vision," she'd say in her gentle southern drawl, her gaze fixed on the Blue Ridge Mountains. "They see chaos, you see warmth." For months, every weekend vanished into the relentless toil of clearing that land. From dawn to dusk, caked in dirt, scratches marking my skin, I must have shed 10 pounds in sweat. My crew stepped up, sacrificing their own time to lend a hand. I compensated them generously. I'm not that type of boss. But in the end, it was just me, my tools, and Mrs. Thompson's dumplings. 6 months in, I began constructing the house. I crafted the plans alongside my wife Emily, a talented 30-year-old architect. That's where it all began. It's a tale that twists unexpectedly. It was once hilarious. Now it drives me to rage. She crafted the house to embody our deepest desires. A dream home with a sprawling kitchen island and a personal workshop, crafted just for my projects. Mrs. Thompson sat in her garden, eyes fixed on the house rising piece by piece, each moment heavy with anticipation. Every morning, she'd wave as I arrived, and every evening, she'd wave goodbye. She'd unfold her tiny chair, eyes fixed on me, her words a blend of wisdom and warmth that seeped into my understanding, each comment a thread weaving us closer. She'd insist on a solid base. 2 years to build the house, and every moment felt like a lifetime. Every second, every cent, all consumed by it. I'm envisioning every detail, crafted with care, free from the compromises of contractors. The pride I felt when we finally finished it is etched in my memory. Everything felt flawless. The house stood complete. Emily and I were blissful. And my sister Jessica, 33, was just the mildly irritating sibling from Charlotte, always borrowing money she never returned. How foolish I was. My world shattered the moment my dad was gone. It was just another Tuesday, yet something felt different in the air. He was meant to visit that weekend, eager to see the completed workshop. His anticipation was palpable. At 2 a.m., my phone rang. It was my mom. Heart attack. One moment here, the next. Vanished. Ever felt something so monumental that your mind just can't wrap around it? Absolutely that. In my sleek kitchen, phone pressed to my ear with Mom, I fixated on the ridiculous coffee mug Dad gifted me for my new home. The funeral was heavy, a weight of sorrow in the air. Mom was on the edge, while Jessica was falling apart. This is where the strange began. Mom dove back into dating, and it was a whirlwind. It's been just under 2 months since Dad left us. Brian appears at our family home in Raleigh one day, and just like that, he's everywhere, unpacking his things, reorganizing Dad's garage as if he's taken over. Mom said she needed company. We should understand. Whatever. But Jessica, oh, she felt it deeply. She began arriving at family dinners completely drunk. Her fiancé, Ethan, a good man at heart, finally reached his breaking point when she hurled a wine glass at him over a petty argument about wedding centerpieces. He abandoned her for his yoga instructor, or Pilates teacher, or whatever it was. Truly, I'm glad for him. Jessica sits on the porch, tears streaming down her face, lost in the darkness of midnight after losing her dad and being left behind. Emily insisted, we must help her. She's family, and this is only temporary. Mrs. Thompson suddenly pulled me aside as Jessica struggled with the boxes. Bad energy, she whispered, shaking her head. That one brings darkness. Initially, everything appeared perfect. Emily and Jessica became inseparable, sharing movie nights and shopping sprees, diving deep into a bond that felt almost surreal. Jessica crafted intricate dinners with my groceries, weaving tales of our childhood for Emily, stories, mostly fabricated, that I believed without question. Every night, I pushed myself to the limit, chasing that massive contract that could elevate my company, returning home late and leaving before dawn. Emily's remarks cut deep. Always absent, Jessica echoes the same. Am I lost in my work? Blind to what matters? Suddenly, strange charges appeared on our shared credit card. Spa days, upscale dinners, shopping sprees. While Jessica claimed to be job hunting, Emily fought back against every accusation. She's struggling, and the amount isn't significant. Let go of the control. And then, the chaos erupted. It started with a few of Jessica's friends, but soon spiraled into wild parties that turned my home into chaos. I returned to find cigarette burns marring my deck, empty beer bottles littering my workshop, and strangers sprawled on my couch unconscious. Each time Emily dismissed it, she convinced herself it was just a way to unwind, nothing more. Yet it carried a weight far beyond innocence. The gatherings became more than mere celebrations. They were her strategy. With each new face, I felt increasingly like a stranger in my own space. She tossed out casual remarks, teasing that the house felt too spacious for just us two, or suggesting we share grocery costs since I practically reside here now. Initially, I dismissed it as her typical entitlement, but soon I understood. Jessica wasn't merely staying over. She was claiming her space. She was complicating my efforts to send her away. When I confronted Emily, the same old excuses poured out. She's finding her footing. She has nowhere else to turn. Jessica craved more than stability. She was crafting a vision, and I alone recognized its power. It spiraled out of control. One night, 3 hours from home, overseeing a massive commercial project in Greenville, I received a notification from my security camera at 2 a.m. I clicked it open, and there he was, a man, flipping into my koi pond. The creation of a tranquil water feature for Emily consumed 3 weekends of my life. I called Emily immediately, but she didn't answer. Dialed Jessica, hit voicemail. At 2:30 a.m., finally reached Emily. It's just a tiny gathering, she insists. I can almost feel the chaos of Myrtle Beach echoing around me. You're being controlling again, she whispers, eyes blazing. Jessica claims you seek to dominate every situation. Each koi fish? A staggering $300. The backflip guy took down 3. Emily called me materialistic for being upset about the fish I bought for her. How does that even add up? The parties were merely the start. Jessica launched a strange campaign of subtle remarks and seemingly innocent observations. She'd bide her time until Emily was close enough, then unleash memories like, remember when you sent Tommy Wilson tumbling off his bike in 3rd grade? Your anger has always burned bright. It wasn't me who pushed Tommy Wilson. He stumbled on a rock and went down. I stood frozen, caught in the moment. It's incredibly brave of Emily to trust you with the finances after everything that happened with Dad's business. Dad's business thrived, a beacon of success, until the moment he was gone. Oh, working late again, are you? Some things remain constant. I toiled into the night, burdened by the cost of her friend's reckless destruction of my home. And Emily devoured every last bite. Each word matters. Her worried glances pierced through my frustration as I stumbled upon empty bottles in my workshop and cigarette burns marring my custom cabinets. She urged me to seek help for my anger. So wanting to protect your home from drunken chaos is now a sign of anger? Really? One night, returning to chaos, I finally confronted Jessica. How long are you staying? Her gaze remained fixed on the screen. I'm lost. Emily offered me a refuge, a promise of time without limits. Emily stepped inside, a heavy sigh escaping her lips. Let her breathe. She's still finding her way. Jessica sighed deeply, rising to her feet. If my presence is such a burden, perhaps I should just go. Emily's heart melted in an instant. Jessica, stay. You don't need to leave. She faced me, and everything changed. If it's weighing on you so heavily, perhaps a few days at a friend's could help you find some clarity. I blinked, and the world shifted. Where my friend resides, in the home I created? Emily's brow furrowed. Perhaps some distance could allow us all to breathe and regain our composure. I stared at Emily, hoping she'd grasp the weight of her suggestion, yearning for a spark of realization to light up her expression. Silence. A void. Emptiness. In an instant, fury ignited, searing and blinding. My anger surged, not just at Jessica, but at Emily. How effortlessly she defended her, how she brushed aside my frustration, leaving me feeling like a stranger in my own home. Jessica's gaze pierced through me, full of intent. She craved a response, hoping I'd explode so she could don the victim's mask once more and paint me as the monster in Emily's eyes. I tightened my jaw, battling the urge to show weakness, and turned my back on her. Jessica's feigned innocence cut deeper than any accusation I could make. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. I'm just concerned for you, or my favorite, Emily. He's terrifying, with her feigned tears and quivering lip. She began to shift everything in the house, altering furniture, transforming decorations, and tidying my workshop. When I was furious, Emily would dismiss me, calling it overreaction and territoriality. Jessica began bringing a new guy over each week, a whirlwind of faces and fleeting connections. They arrived in the dead of night, resembling cast members from a cringeworthy reality show. One of them dared to offer me advice about my own home. This wall screams for chartreuse. Who even says chartreuse anyway? Who even invited your opinion? Mrs. Thompson began documenting every car that arrived at our doorstep. Details. Make. Model. License plate. Everything matters. Proof, she'd insist, tapping her temple. Never let go of proof. Everything spiraled downward. Jessica chose to swap every family photo for faded childhood snapshots of just us. When I discovered my wedding photos hidden in a box in the garage, I felt a surge of anger. She looked at me, tears welling in her eyes, and said, "You see how he gets, Emily? Just like our childhood days. Do you recall Dad's warnings about his temper?" Dad stayed silent about my temper, but it erupted the moment Jessica began her games. Returning home, I discovered Jessica had completely transformed my workshop. Chaos reigns. Tools scattered, materials tangled, my meticulous order shattered. As I broke, her tears fell. She was only trying to help, unaware of the storm she unleashed within me. Emily forced me to say I was sorry. That's when everything began to unravel. Emily froze. No more cleaning, no more cooking, nothing at all. "I need to live a little," she'd say, rushing out with Jessica and the guys they'd just met. She returned home in the dead of night, often not until dawn broke. Every time I reached out, she dismissed me with a flick of her hand. "I'm exhausted from playing the perfect housewife while you're gone all day." Jessica opened my eyes to the joy I deserve. Mrs. Thompson, my incredible elderly neighbor, once caught Jessica tampering with our schedule board. She watched her from the kitchen window, a cycle of erasure and creation unfolding. Mrs. Thompson revealed it to me, and I rushed to share with Emily. But you won't believe what happened next. Mrs. Thompson is lost. Or perhaps she just caught a glimpse of Jessica at the board. Why are you trying to turn everyone against my friend? Absolutely, my friend. Jessica had transformed into something unrecognizable. My wife's closest confidant. Inside jokes lingered, their glances electric. Emily transformed her wardrobe, donning the daring outfits Jessica chose, adopting the strange phrases that rolled off Jessica's tongue. It felt like witnessing a mind unravel, piece by piece, right before my eyes. I confronted Emily one night, revealing everything. The shifts, the strange control, how Jessica distorted reality. I confessed to her that it felt as if I was losing my wife to a distorted reflection of my sister. She sighed, her gaze piercing through me, dismissing my concerns as mere drama. "You're overthinking it," she said. "Jessica's been a force for good, helping me break free." I told her it didn't feel right. It felt like Jessica was taking my place. Emily's laughter rang out, pure and unexpected. "You really sound paranoid," she said, shaking her head. "I'm reclaiming my life, no longer your servant." Jessica opened my eyes to the truth, and in that instant, I realized I wasn't merely losing my home. I was losing my wife as well. There I stood, caught in a whirlwind of deceit, when Jessica unleashed the ultimate shockwave. It happened at one of her lavish dinner parties, the kind she hosted with my money in my own home. Imagine this. I'm drained after a grueling 12-hour shift at the construction site in Boone. 15 strangers crowded my dining table, feasting on food charged to my card. Jessica stood nearby, her expression a familiar dread that gripped my heart. She taps her glass with a fork. I cringe. She announces she's pregnant. Prepare for the shock, the excitement, the cheers. Emily bursts into tears of joy. Hugs surround her. Baby showers are planned. Nursery colors discussed. I stand there, still in my work boots, frozen, thinking, wait a minute. My mind races with two questions. Who's the father? How did this unfold? This is where Mrs. Thompson's notebook proved invaluable. Recall how she meticulously noted every visitor Jessica had. The timeline was completely off. No doubt about it. I had just watched her downshots at a party only 4 days ago. She jumps right in, insisting on turning my workshop into a nursery. No thought for the guest room or any of the other 3 spare rooms in this massive house I created. No, it had to be my workshop. And Emily? Wow! Emily was completely in. It's perfect, she kept repeating, her eyes shining with excitement. The natural light, the space. This weekend, we'll begin the purge. Shall we begin the clearing? The workshop I crafted with my own hands, a sanctuary for my dreams, right in my own home. Jessica truly went all out. She donned those flowy tops, hand resting on her stomach, speaking of morning sickness that mysteriously struck only in my presence. She downloaded a pregnancy app, eagerly sharing each week the size of the baby in fruits and vegetables. This week, she'd declare at breakfast, sushi in hand, believing I hadn't noticed her secret Uber Eats order. A chilling secret lingered as she clung to her truth, refusing to reveal the father's identity. It was her journey, she insisted, and she would involve him only when she felt prepared. Emily stood her ground, insisting it was her choice. Stop judging me, she'd say, her voice steady yet fierce. Then the demand surged. They ordered the workshop cleared, the baby's safety paramount. The ventilation I installed? Irrelevant now, lost in the urgency of the moment. She craved the master bedroom, the relentless morning sickness demanding proximity to the ensuite bathroom. Emily and I could shift to the guest room. Family must stay united, Mrs. Thompson observed, her head shaking in disbelief. One morning, she confronted me in the driveway, thrusting a security camera into my hands, its lens fixed on our home. Keep an eye on the bathroom window after dark, she urged. Snake drops her act, believing she's alone. In the dead of night, a pregnant woman, ravaged by morning sickness, transformed her bathroom into a wild dance floor. When I attempted to share the shocking footage with Emily, she turned on me, accusing me of stalking and violating Jessica's privacy. Once, I found her sipping wine in Emily's absence. What did she say? A single glass won't hurt. Stop being so overbearing. I can't reveal the father's identity. Your judgment is too harsh. She began to lament how my dark energy was harming the baby, how my fury was elevating her blood pressure. She began to feign dizziness or fainting every time I confronted her. These words ignited a fire within me. I stared her down, voice steady, and declared, "Drop the charade. You're not fainting, and you won't manipulate me into retreating. Who is the father?" Her sigh cut through the air, heavy with frustration. This is why I keep my secrets. Your aggression suffocates me. I laughed. You think I ask simple questions and expect genuine answers? She turned away, likely wishing I'd just let it go. You're in my home, consuming my meals, bending my wife to your will, and yet honesty eludes you. In an instant, she whipped out her phone and pressed record. Wow, just wow, she exclaimed, feigning shock, her eyes flickering to the screen as if constructing her argument. Is this really how you speak to expectant mothers? It's no surprise I feel so vulnerable here. I paused, disbelief washing over me. Are you kidding? Are you capturing this moment? Her smirk was sharp, a victory in a game where only she knew the rules. I must shield myself. I can't predict when I'll need to show just how fierce you can be. In that moment, it hit me. This was more than evasion. She was orchestrating something deeper. I couldn't bear to throw her out like that. Next, the nursery planning began. Emily and Jessica pored over paint samples and baby furniture catalogs for hours, each choice heavy with dreams and hopes. Ordering custom baby furniture with my credit card for a baby that clearly isn't real. The moment everything changed was when they began discussing long-term commitments. Since I was rarely home, working to cover everything, it felt right for Jessica to claim the master suite for good. Emily would claim her new bestie wing, while I'd settle for the guest room above the garage. Fury surged within me as I reached for something in the entryway and caught sight of a package on the counter. An Amazon package arrived, ordinary at first glance, but it bore Jessica's name. Deep down, I sensed it was something terrible. I opened it, and my heart sank. A fake pregnancy belly lay inside. My heart froze. All the pieces fell into place. The deceit, the control, the mind games. This was the moment they had all been waiting for. My hands trembled as I snapped photos. My thoughts spiraling through every moment of self-doubt, each time Emily stood up for her. Every instance Jessica wore her victimhood like a shield. Rage surged, trust shattered, shock engulfed me in an instant. I had to escape that house. It was suffocating me. I snatched my keys and raced to Mrs. Thompson, desperate for someone, anyone, to assure me I wasn't unraveling. In Mrs. Thompson's kitchen, I clutched my cup of tea, fear coursing through me as my phone buzzed relentlessly. Notifications flooded in, each one a reminder that my world was unraveling. Missed calls, texts, voicemails, all from Emily. My stomach twisted tighter with every revelation, but the overwhelming flood of messages sent a chill down my spine. Mrs. Thompson remained silent, sipping her tea, her calm, all-knowing gaze fixed on me. At last, her voice broke the silence. A truth that pierced like dawn, she whispered. Hiding won't last. The truth will emerge. I gasped and grabbed the phone. The moment Emily's voice broke through, dread washed over me. Come home. Now, she urged. Panic laced her voice, unsteady and raw, twisting my gut. I grabbed my keys and left. No questions asked. As I stepped inside, an unsettling shift gripped me instantly. Emily stood in the kitchen, papers strewn around her, her face drained, hands trembling. Without a word, she thrust a stack of printouts into my hands. I found this, she whispered, her voice trembling with urgency. Jessica abandoned her laptop, its screen aglow with secrets. A chill coursed through me as I stared at the top page. Asheville home. It hit like a thunderclap. A folder on her laptop, all for the purpose of stealing my home. Inquiries sent to legal aid services regarding tenant rights and the harsh realities of eviction laws. A concise guide to claiming established residency under North Carolina law. A spreadsheet, an actual goddamn spreadsheet, detailing her every move to guarantee she'd never leave my house. Every detail was orchestrated, each deceit carefully crafted. The laptop screen displayed a document titled Establishing Residency Legal Protections. It detailed tenant rights in our state, reminding me that after a certain period, evicting her would be a long, complicated battle. A chilling examination of how Emily's consent could serve as damning evidence in court, revealing the darkest implications. Subject: Inquiry about domestic partner asset claim. Dear lawyer's name, I hope this message finds you well. I am reaching out to seek your guidance on whether I have a viable case to claim the house as a domestic partner asset. Your expertise in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time. Best regards, Jessica. My heart raced as I sifted through the files. A chilling timeline unfolded, detailing her methodical plan to slowly erase me from her life. Step 1. Win Emily over completely. Next step. Make Emily see that I was a danger to the baby. Step 3. Help me escape to the guest house. Step 4. Accuse me of being a ghost, of leaving the home behind. Step 5. Achieve lasting residency status. Step 6. Argue that I had departed, and the house now rightfully belonged to Emily and her. Nausea washed over me. This was more than manipulation. It was a ruthless takeover, and I nearly succumbed. Suddenly, the front door burst open. Jessica strode in, carefree, flinging her bag onto the couch with a casual defiance. Ugh, these doctor's appointments drag on, she groaned, arms stretching in frustration. You'd think they'd be quicker when you're... She fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Her gaze darted between me, Emily, and the towering pile of evidence on the counter. In an instant, I witnessed it. The flash of understanding in her eyes as she grasped her fate. Jessica moved with lightning speed. Her expression changed in an instant, eyes widening with confusion. What's with those expressions? She laughed, but it felt like a struggle. Is someone gone? I thrust the papers at her. It's your turn to share. She barely glanced at them before scoffing, a sharp dismissal hanging in the air. What is happening? Is there an intervention coming? If this is about me staying, I've already made myself clear. Stop pretending, Jessica, I snapped. We hold all the answers. Her eyes flickered. No, what do you mean? Emily trembled, thrusting a printout into her hands. This is Jessica. The deceit of a false pregnancy, the betrayal of a scam, and the audacity to keep my husband from his own home. We hold all the answers. Her anxiety flickered beneath the surface, yet she delivered with unwavering resolve. Are you kidding me right now? Her laughter echoed, empty and strained. This is unbelievable. Where did you find this? I told you. Emily's voice pierced the air, filled with urgency. Your laptop was left open. I witnessed it all. For the first time, Jessica hesitated. She glanced at the papers once more, breath hitching, and then, as if on cue, the tears fell. You don't understand, she whispered, her voice trembling. I never intended for it to escalate like this. Desperation consumed me. My jaw tightened. In despair. She nodded wildly, her lip quivering. I was lost, with no place to turn. You can't imagine the pain of abandonment, the crushing weight of indifference. You possessed it all, while I was left with emptiness. She faced Emily, her voice trembling. You understand, right? You know I had no choice. Emily remained silent. Jessica exhaled, trembling. All I ever wanted was a place to belong. All I craved was safety. I might have chosen poorly, but it was necessary. Can't you feel it? She trembled, brushing away phantom tears. Her gaze pierced through me, revulsion twisting in my gut. You never intended to cause me pain. I motioned to the chaos around us. You attempted to take everything from me. You twisted my wife's heart. You painted me as a monster. You made me doubt my sanity for months, all while trying to push me out of my own home. This was your design, Jessica. every detail meticulously crafted. Jessica shook her head, her eyes flickering between me and Emily. "You're distorting it all," she murmured, her voice barely holding on. I only, you've been exposed," I interject, and now panic sets in. Her lips parted, but before a word escaped, my phone buzzed. A message from my lawyer, a reminder of a past I thought I had left behind. "Your sister has just filed for an emergency protective order against you both. She accuses you of harassment," trembling with fear for her baby's safety. I glanced up, and there was Jessica smirking. In that instant, it hit me. She never aimed to win. Her goal was simply to make me lose. She believed she had made the final play, filing for a painting as the frightened victim of her volatile brother and his erratic wife. It was my final shot, a desperate move to change everything before I revealed her truth. She had no idea how ready I was to finish this. I faced it head on, calm and resolute. I called my lawyer. Her voice was steady. "Don't worry," she said. "We're about to flip this whole thing upside down." We did it. Ms. Harper is my lawyer. She was savage, a title she had rightfully earned, assembling what she referred to as a package. Every deceit, every con, every false test, every dollar taken, it was all laid bare. The Amazon receipts for her pregnancy props, security footage of her drinking at parties while on bed rest, Mrs. Thompson's notebook chronicling every random guy at my house late at night, and the shocking climax, Emily's recording of Jessica confessing the whole scheme, laughing as she plotted to exploit sympathy for a fake miscarriage and secure residency. As we entered the courtroom in Asheville for the protective order hearing, it was more than self-defense. It was about ensuring Jessica's end. She arrived, a picture of feigned vulnerability, fake belly secured, tissues clutched, exuding fragility and despair. Her lawyer, far too smug for someone on the brink of defeat, launched into a tirade about Jessica's fears for her safety, claiming Emily and I had emotionally tormented her, painting us as the villains in her tale of distress and aggression. The judge's initial sympathy faded as Ms. Harper rose to her feet. The first strike. She was never really pregnant. Footage reveals her reveling, drinking, laughing, contradicting the pain of morning sickness she was meant to endure. Emails detailing the fake belly, counterfeit pregnancy tests, and guides on how to convincingly sell the facade of pregnancy. Then, Emily's recording shattered the silence. As the recording played, Jessica's facade shattered. Her face went pale, the courtroom stunned by her own voice, boasting of her deceit, how she planned to rob me of my home, feign loss for sympathy, and exploit tenant rights to remain forever. The judge's entire presence transformed. He brushed aside her protective order without a second thought, dialing the DA's office straight from the bench. Tenant fraud and falsified claims ignite a fierce curiosity in law enforcement. Jessica stumbled, desperate to escape the courtroom, her fake pregnancy belly bouncing awkwardly with each frantic step. The bailiff seized her just as she reached the door, and in a scene ripped from a film, her fake belly burst free in the chaos, landing on the floor like a deflated alien egg. It was over. It's finished. The DA unleashed a storm. Fraud, false police reports, and a betrayal of tenant rights. She was dragged from the courtroom in handcuffs, her screams of betrayal echoing as the damning evidence of her own folly blared through the speakers. I thought it was over, but one last task awaited me. Upon arriving home, silence enveloped me as I faced Emily. I just couldn't. She sat at the kitchen table, eyes fixed on the floor, the burden of it all crashing down. For the first time in months, a flicker of realization crossed her face, as if she finally grasped the weight of her actions. Her gaze met mine as I entered. "We can make this right," she whispered. A bitter laugh escaped me as I shook my head. "Make it right, Emily. This is not a mere drip. This defines our whole marriage." She rose abruptly, urgency lacing her words. "Now, we hold the proof. We will reveal her actions to the world. Do you believe this revolves around Jessica?" I erupted, unleashing the fury I had buried deep inside. "Jessica thrives on deception, a true leech in disguise. That's simply her essence. But you were everything to me. You were meant to stand by me." She choked back her fear. "I believed I was making the right choice. Is it truly the right choice?" I swept my hand across the room. "You allowed her to invade my space. You allowed her to twist your heart against me. You made me believe I was at fault, all while she schemed to take it all away. Even as the red flags screamed at you, you stood by her side." She moved in, her hand outstretched toward mine. Yet I broke free. "Please," she whispered. "I was a fool. I understand it all now. I can't bear the thought of losing you." I let out a breath, my head shaking in disbelief. "You've already done it." Her eyes fluttered, lips quivering. "Is that all there is?" "It's over." For a heartbeat, I believed she would resist, would claw for this. But then her shoulders fell, and she gave a slight nod. "Where do I go from here?" she whispered. I folded my arms tightly. Not my concern. Her face twisted in pain, yet I stood still, unmoved. All I had was gone. That night, Emily packed her things, heart racing. 3 months passed, and the divorce was done. She was left with emptiness. The judge's gaze was cold, unyielding toward the one who had betrayed her own husband, attempting to steal his home. What about the house? I held on to it. I fought to keep it, refusing to let them win. This house is my creation. I crafted each board, secured every beam, and poured my very essence into it. This was more than a house. It was the culmination of all my struggles. I reclaimed it, erased their chaos, renewed the walls, transformed the space, and seized what was rightfully mine. Mrs. Thompson purchased the house next door, insisting she was too old for new neighbors and that someone had to ensure the snake detector was always operational. She guards her dumpling recipe fiercely, yet she opened up just enough to show me the art of her special tea. Now, on my deck, gazing at the view I won't surrender, I almost find humor in it. So close. Now, I run background checks on everyone. Yes, even the pizza guy. Thanks for watching this story on Addy Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.